Man, let's do it.
Let's do it. So our first song is a Paper City Studios artist, which Phoenix is also as well. So this will be kind of
shameless plug.
Shameless, exactly. And we got Joenis with Motivation.
Yeah, I'm chasing this dream. It's keeping me up at night. I'm in the studio working. Cause I see me a new life. They said that music won't worth it. Hold up. Just watch how I take off. I don't wanna be famous, but some niggas, they need motivation. See,
So
this
is your boy. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this track, and also, so his role in Paper City Studios as well. Give us a little bit background on each of these artists as well.
Yeah, for sure. You know what I mean? Like, although there's relationships there, I'm going to keep it G. Like, this guy is trash. You feel me? Like, he can't hold the tone. That's all jokes. Paper City, this is my guy, Joenis, and Paper City Studios is kind of the studio thing we got in Holyoke, and we're trying to collaborate with as many people in Western Mass as we can, and Joenis is our resident engineer, and he's also, a nasty MC. And in terms of like the role he plays, he kind of wears a bunch of different hats. Like I said, he's an engineer, he's an artist, and aside from that, he's just also kind of part of the brains of what we got going on. You know what I mean? We all contribute, but definitely Joenis has a heavy hand in it. And this Motivation single, it was something that I've actually heard for months, and he kind of recorded, I think the first time, like he recorded it when we initially opened the studio, somewhere around that time, I'm pretty sure. And it was kind of sitting in a vault for a while until he was ready to drop. And then he finally dropped. And it got definitely a good reception. And I personally, I guess at this point, I'll just start getting into how I feel about the track. I like the track a lot. I think the beat and the musical direction that Joenis chose is like super unique, because I think anybody upon first listening to that beat, like I don't think anybody except Joenis could have brought it to that different kind of this different kind of vibe. The track is called Motivation. I don't know if I stated that already, but the gist of the chorus is too, like, I don't want to be famous, but right. Some niggas out here need motivation. You know what I mean? And I think that's insightful. You know what I mean? Because I think also it's just difficult, or not difficult, but it's a different relationship with me and Joenis, because I know him personally, and knowing Joenis personally, he's definitely a guy who's invested into this music thing genuinely for his love of music, and I think maybe you're able to get that impression too, but just through the song lyrics, you know what I mean? A lot of it's just talking about, like, I'm staying up late in the studio working, chilling, and I don't even want to be famous, but I want to be motivated. So there's a lot of like, I want this, I want that, but I think the gist of it is like, I just want to do this music thing because I'm very in love with this music thing. And I don't know, I think that it comes across authentic. I think it again, the musical direction of it, or just the musicality of it, is unique and at a very high level. I think the vocals are dope, and it's kind of a laid back kind of vibe, along with lyrics that you can still stick to, and I feel like are still sticky and catchy in that way. So I thought it was a really dope track. I think it has a great vibe to it. I definitely run it back. I think everybody should run it back. It's a product of Paper City, but I am biased, of course. So I'm definitely interested in what you thought about it, Mike.
For sure. And just to preface this too, there's going to be other songs on this episode as well that I'm a little more closer with than you are as well. So there's going to be some bias on the other side as well. And then there's some songs here that, artists that we don't know personally, but we know from Massachusetts. So we have that nice mix. I think that's the good part about this list that we have for this upcoming.
And it's only right? As Massachusetts natives ourselves, of course, we like music. We have friends that make music. Some of us make music.
Yeah, exactly. And we're both in the industry, and in different ways, of course, but we're both in the music industry in Massachusetts. So of course, like, there's just going to be relationships that have been had. Right. That's just the way it is.
Right.
So that's why it makes these, it makes it great, but also tricky at the same time. So just getting to preface this, like, this is just our opinion, of course, of these songs, like, going forward, like, we encourage you guys to check these out yourself, and, obviously drop us a comment, let us know what you guys think of these tracks. But kind of going back to Joenis and motivation. So I agree with you with a lot of sentiments you put down, because I actually overall do like this track quite a bit. I love the instrumentation. I think mostly. I think the violins are super beautiful, and I love the mix of like the trap drums and stuff like that. I think he does a nice job of kind of eloquently blending both together with some like a hard-hitting trap style track, but also like with these more kind of beautiful, lush, elements of the beat. So I really enjoyed that part of it a ton from him. And I love the message as well. I think it's like, he isn't really focused on, like you said, the fame aspect of it. He wants to just make music because he naturally just enjoys it, and kind of like talking about him finding his own intrinsic motivation and like what you want out of your life, instead of like these external, like, motivations, like, money, girls, cars, whatever it is, right? Like, big house, like that's not really like what he's claiming he's in it for. He's going to continue doing it no matter what, even if that stuff comes or at any point or doesn't, just depends. But it really, that, I think the message of it is really great. And I think it's just good for anybody to hear, whether they're in the music industry or any industry at all. It's like you have to have a passion for what you're doing. We've talked about that many times on this podcast, so I definitely enjoy that aspect of the song for sure. I think there's like a really cool melodic delivery that has a really awesome vibe. Just overall, I think you had definitely mentioned that as well. And I think if anybody that's listening to this right now likes like the cross between trap and a little bit of soul, I think they'll definitely enjoy it. Even though he's not really singing on this, it still has sort of a soulful vibe to it.
Definitely. Almost has like a gospel-y vibe a little bit.
A little bit. Like, I think the violins really help with that, or the strings, whatever the sample we use there. And he's a talented dude. Like, I mean, let's just put it this way. Like, he's a jack of all trades. He does a lot of different things, clearly, for you guys, production and mixing, mastering, engineering, and of course, like, being an artist. So big props to him there. The one critique I will have with this track is I feel as though sometimes his vocals are a little bit monotone for me. That is just I think a very minor thing, and it doesn't really take away from the overall my enjoyment of this track, because I have, as well, like you had mentioned, been running it back quite a bit as well. So overall, I really do enjoy this one. I think it's a really solid song from him. I'm very curious to see where he goes next with his sound. And I know you guys have a lot in the vault ready to come and come out, and I'm excited for what you guys are doing. I think you guys got a really cool collective, and we got a few more coming as well from Paper City, or even just the Western Mass scene in general on this episode, and then of course the next one as well. But so we got a nice mix of Western, Eastern, Boston, all that. Yeah. So in terms of what you guys are doing as a whole, like, big props. And Joenis, man, I dig the track. I think it overall is something that I definitely will be listening to the rest of 2021.
Same, and I can totally empathize with kind of what you were saying about the monotone vocals, and which again I thought was I think is just also a unique decision to make, because I think anybody else listening to that beat, I think, would have gotten a little bit just a different energy, where he chose to go really laid back.
Very laid back. I think
it's really, really strong in the chorus, and that's also where the songwriting is really strong. And I can see you wanting a little bit more of variability, or you know what I mean, or variation in the way that he delivers in some of the other places. So I can totally hear that one for sure.
Yeah, and that's just a personal not choice, but like a personal just opinion of mine.
Preference.
Or like thank you. I needed that help.
Gotcha.
Yeah, no, definitely a personal preference of mine, where this beat is so, and this instrumental is so dynamic. I would have just liked a little bit more dynamics in his vocals, but I do agree with you as well, where the vocals in the hook are definitely that was what captivated me the most about this song. Was he had some like high and low runs in that hook as well that I think were super catchy. So that was really more or less what I liked most about his vocal delivery on this track. So I'm glad you brought that up. But yeah, no, overall, I mean, that's a very nitpicky thing. I don't think that it takes away from the overall. That was just his approach to the track, and that's fine. Mm-hmm. Like that's. I'm not abashed whatsoever, and
no, we're keeping it G, man. We're keeping it G. We're just being honest out here. You know what I mean? And if Joenis got a problem, he could take it up with me. You know, I got you, Mike.
No, like it should not take anything away from Joenis. Like the man, you guys got to support this man. Obviously, the song is linked in the description, so make sure you check it out. And I'm very excited to see what Joenis has coming next. But this is a really good start for him, I think, in 2021.
Definitely.